You may know that speech pathologists help children talk, but did you know that occupational therapists also play a really important role in helping children to speak? And it all comes down to play. Well, let's back up for a second. In order to communicate, children need a reason to. Think about a young baby. They cry to request something, and it might be milk or a cuddle, or they cry to protest they don't want something. And as children get older, the reasons for which they communicate increase. They need more reasons to communicate, and it might be to comment on something they've seen, it might be to share an opinion, to ask a question, to answer a question. And play is one context in which children find new reasons to communicate.
So the development of play usually falls into the scope of practice for an occupational therapist. And what we typically look for is whether the foundational play skills for a child has developed. What those foundational skills might look like could include if they have familiar life stories in their play. So things like playing kitchen, playing house or school. We might look for whether a child is able to include characters in their play. So characters that have voices and emotions. Another foundational skill might be taking on roles in their play. So taking on characters like a doctor or mum and dad. And we also look in their play whether they have a logical storyline, so a play sequence that makes sense and it's not jumping all over the place. If a child is having difficulties in these foundational skills in play, they might find it also quite challenging to be able to describe things and also being able to understand their daily routines and their environment. So I guess if we think about all these things, what does speech and OT working together look like to help develop a child's play and language skills?
So speech pathologists work on the language and the reasons for communicating. But in order to find reasons to communicate, we need play, and that falls under the scope of an occupational therapist. So want to boost your child's speaking? Support their play. Here is an example of how Jaime, an occupational therapist, and myself, a speech pathologist, might work together in a joint session to support a child's language and play.
As an OT, we can help set up a play scene targeted at the child's current play levels and help the child to discover the possibilities of what play can look like. Let's set up a play sequence. Today, we're at the shops. We need to buy some food for dinner. First, let's find our food. Then, put them in the basket. Last, pay for it.
And as we're playing, speech pathologists adopt the role of a sports commentator, narrating what we can see happening in the play. I'm still hungry. I know, let's buy dessert. I can see a delicious strawberry pie. Can you scan this for me? Thanks, I'll put the pie in the basket.